A busy week in provincial and federal politics. The Prime Minister unveiled his new cabinet this week, and many of us were watching closely to see how Justin Trudeau reflected the West without many Liberal seats here. And of course, lots of concern locally around the CN strike. Adam Hunter covers politics for CBC Saskatchewan and joins me now. Adam, let's start with the federal cabinet.
Yeah, the cabinet shuffle, pretty interesting as it relates to Saskatchewan specifically. We had a new environment minister replacing Catherine McKenna, Jonathan Wilkinson. He has roots here in Saskatchewan, born and raised in Saskatoon, went to the U of S and worked for Roy Romano as an advisor, the former premier of Saskatchewan. He represents North Vancouver, so a tricky carbon tax file that he has to handle, also pipelines, other things, Bill C-69 and C-48 are things that Saskatchewan really cares about. Also, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, a new position for her. She's also head of domestic affairs, and that'll mean dealing with the provinces. Scott Moe seems excited, let's say, to work with her, maybe as opposed to Justin Trudeau.
All right, and the other big story we were following all week is the CN strike. Obviously, a lot of local concern here, especially with that poor harvest. What was happening in the legislature with regards to that?
Yeah, yesterday morning there was a motion for an emergency debate, and not to get too bogged down on legislative machinations, but we'll say that the government wanted to talk about it. The NDP didn't like the terms of that emergency debate. They threw their own motion on the floor. That was defeated, but long story short, both the opposition and the government are saying that they're concerned about the CN rail strike. The government yesterday saying that they're more concerned about an end to it very quickly. They're saying maybe bring back Parliament, which doesn't sit until December 5th, to enact some back to work legislation. That's something that NDP couldn't sit with because they're saying we need to respect the bargaining process, but both agreeing that this is potentially going to hurt farmers and producers, as you mentioned.
Well, and there was something else that came up this week, talk of muzzling doctors at the legislature. What was going on there? Yeah,
very quickly, there was a memo that was received through an FOI by the NDP. It was sent by the SHA to physicians back in September. There was a line in there about if you don't want it in the newspaper, don't put it in the minutes. The NDP said that equates to a muzzling. The government saying we're not muzzling doctors. It wasn't a directive from the government. SHA saying yesterday they sent out a clarifying memo to try and tell physicians they're not being muzzled, but something the NDP was quite concerned about.
All right, lots to look for in the weeks to come. Thanks so much, Adam.
You're welcome.
The CBC's Adam Hunter in our Regina studio tonight.